Hello everyone. Welcome to my YNR 24 spoilers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Lily explodes, Cal questions Claire, and Victor launches a surprise attack. Spoilers for Friday, November 7th. 2025's episode of The Young and the Restless are here. Fans can anticipate Victor Newman organizing a surprise assault on one of his adversaries in the upcoming episode. Claire Grace Newman is questioned by Kyle Abbott. In addition, Lily Winters grows tired of Kane Ashby. Let's discuss the upcoming events in the CBS soap opera as you continue to read. The sneak attack of Victor Newman. Let's begin with Victor, who intends to launch a surprise attack against one of his adversaries. Now that he possesses the AI software, Victor intends to use it wisely. For starters, Victor enjoys it when his adversaries are unprepared for him. The man is intelligent as well, and he understands that patience will provide him with the ideal chance to attack. Victor is likely to attack Jack Abbott. Jack, Kyle, Billy Abbott, and Diane Jenkins Abbott will need to stand together if that occurs. Read more. Discover the events of YNR's most recent episode. Lily Winters goes crazy. Kane, on the other hand, will make an effort to convince Lily of his position, but she simply loses patience. The man is pursuing his desire to reunite with his family in all the wrong ways. Lily may become irritated and resolve to never talk to Kane again. But will his scheme to find atonement really work? Grilled by Claire Grace Newman. According to Friday, November 7th teasers for The Young and the Restless, Cal will assist his family in resolving the Jabot issue, but he's also obsessed with Claire. The young man will question his former lover about what she did in Los Angeles. Claire was considering whether or not she was afraid of commitment, but Kyle's persistent questions might make her flee. In any event, because Claire and Kyle are no longer together, it is none of his business what she does. Kyle may believe that he is merely attempting to shield Claire from Holden Novak. Read this. Spoilers for The Young and the Restless. Matt killed Mitch Bacall and stole his identity. November 7th, 2025, Friday. But Claire is beginning to trust Holden more than she does Kyle. Although Claire did have an affair with Holden, Kyle is no longer concerned about it. Claire will therefore rush near Holden the more enraged he becomes. Claire is also aware of a portion of the Holden and Audra Charles narrative. There appear to be some missing chapters in this book, even though Holden is portraying Audra as the villain. DONE, lovers' confrontation, and big plans for retaliation. As the weekend approaches, some significant events in the realm of Genoa City are hinted at in The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, November 7th. A character is ecstatic about their grand plans for retaliation. Two lovers engage in a heated argument, and someone is DONE with one of their ex-partners. What can we expect from Friday's performance? It's time to find out. Is Claire Newman going to confess? According to Friday, November 7th teasers for The Young and the Restless, Kyle Abbott will question Claire Newman about what really transpired in Los Angeles. Fans are aware that Claire's activities in Los Angeles went beyond simple sightseeing. The two had a massive steam fest after hitting the sheets with Holden Novak. Even still, Claire owes Kyle no explanation for their breakup. Will he realize that she went too far with another man? For the sake of honesty, will she ultimately tell Kyle the truth? Victor Newman's vast plans for retaliation. Victor Newman will be ecstatic about his intentions to exact revenge on one of his enemies across town. Fans of YNR are aware that Phyllis Summers made a deal with the mustache after stealing the AI software from Kane Ashby. He was informed by Phyllis that he could get revenge on Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, by taking Jabot from under him, but the main requirement was that he had given the business to her. When the November 7th show airs, will this grand strategy fall apart? Read more. Nikki's one-night stand on The Young and the Restless. Is Nick actually Victor's son? Just DONE, Lily Winters. Regarding Kane, Friday's teasers for The Young and the Restless suggest that Lily Winters will be done with her ex, that is, DONE. Although fans are aware of this, She continues to engage in conversation with him, and he consistently envelopes her in his embrace. Saying that they must have a co-parenting relationship sounds absurd because their children are now adults. In the November 7th episode, what will Kane say or do to make Lily angry this time? The Master comes back with Victor Newman's sneak attack. In Genoa City, there's a proverb that goes, "Never bet against Victor Newman." Everyone was reminded of why in this episode. The Newman dynasty's patriarch, Victor, had just obtained the stolen AI program that Kane Ashby had initially created, but he wanted to put it to use, so having it wasn't enough. Technology is just another weapon in his universe, and all weapons have to have a purpose. Victor started formulating a new strategy after discovering that Phyllis Summers had mediated the agreement that gave him access to the AI. Not only is it a corporate strategy, but it's also a retaliatory one. What was his real target? Jack Abbott. Victor and Jack have been engaged in a business Cold War for decades, alternating between being the hunter and the prey. Victor sees a surgical opportunity in the AI program to take down Jabot from the inside out, without Jack even recognizing it until it's too late. Victor saw something far more valuable, the element of surprise, while Phyllis, ever the opportunist, saw dollar signs and leverage. As Victor described his next course of action to a reliable subordinate in his study at the Newman Ranch, the candlelight flickered across his features. He would trick Jack into falling into a trap by disclosing fictitious information about a possible merger. Armed with his AI's predictive algorithms, Victor's team would manipulate the market as soon as Jabot fell for the bait, causing Jabot's stock to crash. Then Newman Enterprises would intervene to assert control, much like a shark surrounding blood. However, Victor's retaliation went beyond money. It was intimate. He said, "Jack believes he's untouchable. He won't anticipate it." Viewers could see by the faint smirk that followed that Victor Newman was having fun in addition to winning. Nikki, meanwhile, saw his newfound vigor. She was aware of her husband's fixation on retribution, but she knew better than to try to stop him. Victor has always felt that the Newman legacy is safeguarded by his brutal tactics. However, viewers could see the hint that this sneak attack can just as well backfire and cause turmoil for his kids, his business, and his own soul. Nobody missed the eerie irony as Victor poured himself a glass and muttered, "To victory!" It's possible that Genoa City won't come out of this particular triumph unscathed. Claire Grace is questioned by Kyle Abbott. Is it justice or jealousy? Kyle Abbott was engaged in a different type of struggle, one motivated by insecurity, obsession, and heartbreak, while Victor plotted behind mahogany doors. Kyle has been a guy in disarray ever since Claire returned from Los Angeles. He is torn between his rivalry with his father Jack, his allegiance to Jabot, and the pain of a past love. All of that suffering, the intensity, the perplexity, and the sense that he never truly knew Claire at all, comes flooding back when he meets her again. In Friday's episode, Kyle confronted Claire in the Abbott living room and demanded an explanation for what had transpired in Los Angeles. His voice wavered with a mixture of desperation and rage. "Claire, how long were you with him? I deserve the truth, so don't lie to me." However, Claire gently reminded him that he is no longer deserving of anything. Claire resisted Kyle's interrogation concerning Holden Novak with quiet strength. Viewers could see the weariness on her face from both her internal conflict and Kyle's questioning. It was true that she had spent the night with Holden, and it was significant. She didn't have to give Kyle an explanation, though. They had ended. Nevertheless, the jealousy of a man who was unable to let go was evident in Kyle's tone. He defended his inquiries by saying he was worried about her and that Holden couldn't be relied upon, particularly in light of his dubious history with Audra Charles. But there was pure emotional fear behind his worry. Claire started to lose her cool. Her voice broke as she added, "You don't get to police my choices anymore. When you left, you made yours." Viewers witnessed two individuals speaking different languages at that precise time, one attempting to go forward and the other clinging to the past. Driven by his own bruised ego and his father's business difficulties, Kyle was unable to accept losing control. Claire, on the other hand, came to the realization that she didn't have to defend her feelings to anyone, certainly not someone who viewed love as a rivalry. Their conversation became unfiltered and intimate. Claire retorted that his love had always been conditional, while Kyle accused her of betraying him. There was a tangible emotional burden between the two ex-lovers, who were unable to fully move on due to a vicious cycle of blame. At the conclusion of the incident, Kyle was left by himself, gazing into the empty room, as Claire departed in tears. Like every other Abbott problem, his fixation with Claire was now about power rather than love. The irony was obvious. Kyle Abbott was fighting a more subdued, self-destructive battle of the heart as Victor Newman planned his corporate retaliation. "I'm done, Kane!" Lily Winters yells. Another storm, this one intense, passionate, and years in the making, was building elsewhere in Genoa City. Lily Winters has always been renowned for her poise under duress. However, grace gave way to rage on this particular day. She eventually hit her breaking point with Kane Ashby after everything she had to go through, including grief, deception, and betrayal. Desperate to regain Lily's trust, Kane had been attempting to justify his recent behavior. As usual, he spoke in a protective, charming, and half-truthful manner. He said, "Lily, I'm doing this for us, for our family." Lily, however, would not have it. "Our household," she fired back. "Kane, our children are grown. They cannot be used as a justification for all of your mistakes." It wasn't simply Kane's bad decisions that set Lily off. It was also his conceit. Lily saw his latest billion-dollar agreement with Victor as just another instance of his carelessness, despite his attempts to exploit it as evidence that he was turning things around. The man she used to love was unable to distinguish between ego and redemption. Lily let out years of frustration as she paced the room. "When it blows up, you pretend to be the victim while lying and manipulating others. Done, I'm done." Completed. Crystal Khalil gave a powerful performance that simultaneously showed Lily's strength and tenderness. As she told Kane what fans have been thinking for months, that he never learns, viewers could sense the weight of every word. Despite being obviously upset, Kane remained mute while attempting to keep up his composed exterior. "You'll see," he said. "I can make this right." Bitter and exhausted, Lily's giggle broke the tension. Something that was never accidentally damaged cannot be repaired. "Kane, you intentionally broke it. You do it every time." The breakup scene, which was about 1,000 little betrayals accumulated over years rather than just one, was a masterclass in emotional writing. Walking away meant more to Lily than simply quitting a romance. It meant regaining her tranquility. Kane finally displayed a glimmer of genuine regret as she exited the room and slammed the door behind her. He stared at an unsent message to Amanda Sinclair on his phone while alone in the quiet, a reminder of how one text message may make all the difference. The spectator was left wondering if Kane would ever genuinely change or if his sad patterns would always recur. The web titans: romance, reckoning, and retaliation. Each character was ensnared in their own trap in The Young and the Restless episode from November 7th, which connected these three storylines like threads in a web. Victor's covert assault represented unbridled power, the old guard using deceit to maintain control. Claire's grilling by Kyle was a reflection of insecurity, the next generation making the same mistakes in love and fidelity as their parents. Additionally, Lily's eruption symbolized freedom, the decision to stop being defined by the turmoil of others. Even supporting characters gave the day's themes more nuance. Ever the wild card, Phyllis Summers was busy aligning herself with Victor's revenge scheme, believing she could outwit the mustache. However, devoted fans are aware of how that story ends. Victor treats people like chess pieces, and Phyllis would soon be sacrificed for an unexpected checkmate. Jack Abbott, meanwhile, felt something wasn't quite right. He couldn't get rid of the suspicion that Victor was plotting something significant. A cryptic message from a Jabot insider buzzed through his phone. "Watch the markets. He's coming." The conflict between the Abbott and Newman empires was about to blow up again. Devon quietly supported Lily back at society. Their sibling relationship offered a much-needed emotional diversion from the mayhem. Devon's counsel, "Lil, don't look back. Some people only understand loss when they feel it," encapsulated the episode's central theme. And in a quiet scene near the conclusion, Claire sat by herself outside Crimson Lights, reliving her encounter with Kyle while tears streamed down her cheeks. Holden showed up at that moment. He remained silent. All he did was take her hand, a silent solace in a world that had suddenly become too noisy. Claire's trust was moving away from the Abbotts and into the unknown for the time being, albeit it remains to be seen if his intentions were sincere or premeditated. Themes of the episode: closure, consequence, and control. Friday's Y&R offered significance in addition to drama. Each plotline represented a distinct form of control. Victor's use of power as a weapon to subdue his adversaries. Claire was under Kyle's control. He confused possession with protection. Kane's manipulation of Lily by manipulating forgiveness via guilt. Lily is releasing herself, opting for tranquility over unending suffering. The program explored, more broadly, how people react when their delusions of control crumble. Kane's manipulation has ultimately ruined his final opportunity with Lily. Kyle's obsession may push Claire away forever, and Victor's power may soon turn against him. Every woman was learning how to recover herself from the rubble, while every guy, in his own way, was losing what he loved most. Predicting the future. There will be fallout on all fronts, according to the preview for next week. Victor's scheme to undermine Jabot will start to take shape, but Phyllis might turn on him in order to protect herself. Kyle's jealousy can lead to a risky alliance with Audra, one that is more motivated by retaliation than logic. What about Lily? At last, she will heed Devon's counsel and prioritize her own happiness, possibly starting again with someone unexpected. In the meantime, rumors circulate in the community that Mitch Bacall's unexplained demise may be connected to Matt Clark's reappearance, which is connected to Sienna's secrets and Noah's accident. As always, chaos is just a disclosure away in Genoa City. Concluding remarks, an ideal soapstorm. The Young and the Restless episode from November 7th, 2025, had everything a fan could ask for. Intense passion, witty writing, and performances that had you riveted to the screen. Eric Braeden reaffirmed to the audience why he is a daytime legend by fusing composed assurance with barely concealed menace. Michael transformed jealousy into pathos with his unadulterated fire. Crystal Khalil powerfully and passionately anchored the hour, demonstrating once more that Lily Winters is one of Y&R's emotional beats. Every phrase had weight, and every scene throbbed with suspense. This was more than simply a soap opera. It was an examination of ambition, human nature, and the messy, lovely catastrophe that is love in Genoa City. If this episode taught us anything, it's that getting revenge is always more expensive than it is worth, and everyone in Genoa City eventually suffers the consequences. Make sure to stay up to date on all that is currently going on with Y&R. Return frequently for news, updates, and spoilers about The Young and the Restless.